How about now? As Xiao Yan's resolute voice resonated across the heavens, a stunned silence fell over the surrounding area. Those who knew of Xiao Yan's origins could not help but be filled with admiration. It was hard to believe that a supreme powerhouse like him could emerge from a lower dimension, a seemingly insignificant small world. On a distant green peak, thousands of figures descended slowly. These were the members of the Yuanda sect, who had long claimed this region of the Yuanda mountain range as their own. They, too, had sensed the rolling waves of scorching energy emanating from afar. Is that the prodigy from the lower dimension who saved him? The sect master of the Yuanda sect, standing amidst his disciples, gazed in shock at the fiery storm raging at the heart of the mountain range. Even from thousands of miles away, the suffocating heat wave made it clear that this battle was no ordinary one. Anyone below the three tribulation stage would dare not approach, and even ordinary supreme powerhouses would likely be scorched if they ventured within 1,000 miles of the battlefield. Father, you wouldn't believe it. Back then, 3 elders from Xinling Hall joined forces and summoned their supreme Dharmakaya. Yet they were utterly crushed by a single fire lotus from Xiao Yan. Yi Tianlian said to the sect master of the Yuanda sect. So that's the power of an Earth Supreme, the sect master murmured in astonishment. The thought of 3 elders, each capable of deploying a supreme Dharmakaya, being defeated so effortlessly was hard to comprehend. Even a peak 9th grade supreme would have struggled to fend them off. The chasm between an Earth Supreme and a grade supreme was simply too vast. Sect Master, it seems Xiao Yan is now facing 3 Earth Supreme powerhouses. A young man beside Yi Tianlian said, "What? 3 Earth Supremes? Who else is there besides that scoundrel from Xinling Hall and the bully from the Hall of Heavenly Kings?" The sect master asked in disbelief. We don't know. Earlier, we were trapped in a spatial prison and had no idea what happened outside, Yi Tianlian replied. But they're probably not from the 8 Kings region. It's likely the master of Xinling Hall brought in reinforcements from another faction to deal with Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan, Brother Yan. He won't be in trouble, will he? Asked Yurong, who had remained silent until now. She had only recently regained her ability to speak after her throat was unsealed. Her worried gaze was fixed on the fiery chaos within the mountains, though the blinding light made it impossible to discern what was happening. He is a supreme being even in the lower dimension. If he dared to come, he must have a plan to deal with the situation, Yi Tianlian reassured her. I believe. Brother Yin will be fine, Yurong said, nodding with conviction. Boom. Before they could finish their conversation, a terrifying tremor rippled outward from the heart of the mountain range. Moments later, the members of the Yuanda sect saw a magnificent pillar of fire, tens of thousands of feet tall, tearing through the sky. The blazing storm that had engulfed the mountain range was abruptly torn apart by a violent energy surge, revealing a shocking sight within. Beneath the towering pillar of fire stood a massive magma giant. In its hands, it wielded an enormous, radiant fire ruler. Its adversaries were 4 colossal fiery beasts, each radiating overwhelming power as they clashed with the magma giant. This fire, Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, Black Tortoise, this is the 4 mystic divine flames. The sect master of the Yuanda sect gasped. As a powerhouse from the 8 Kings region, he immediately recognized the terrifying flames ranked 47th on the 100 million flames ranking. However, his true shock stemmed not from the flames themselves, but from a piece of information he had accidentally stumbled upon decades ago. Something even the other 7 kings of the 8 Kings region were unaware of. The 4 mystic divine flames belonged to a single person, the 12 elders of the ancient royal court. The 4 mystic spirit sovereign is here. His voice trembled with disbelief. The ancient royal court? The 12 elders? Those nearby were equally stunned. Though the ancient royal court was one of the top 3 dominators of the relic continent, its reputation from ancient times was far from pristine. Over millennia, the faction had remained relatively isolated, and little was known about its inner workings. Consequently, even the 12 elders were an enigma to the outside world. Over a decade ago, I visited the central region of the Relic Continent, the most prosperous area among the fragmented lands of the Relic Continent. During that time, the ancient royal court made a rare appearance. Two of their powerhouses showed themselves. One of them was the four mystic spirit sovereign, who commands the four mystic divine flames, the sect master explained. The ancient royal court has a rigid hierarchy. At the top are two grand kings, who are undoubtedly heavenly supremes. Below them are four celestial stewards, whose power remains a mystery. Beneath the celestial stewards are the 12 elders. Their strength, too, is unknown. The Earth Supreme Expert was severely injured and forced to flee. Hearing the sect master of the Yuanda sect recount this, the surrounding crowd was deeply shaken. What level is an Earth Supreme? Such a figure stands at the pinnacle of the Eight Kings region. Yet they were severely injured and driven away by that four mystic spirit sovereign. And now, Xiao Yan is actually facing such a powerful being? Everyone gasped sharply and couldn't help but feel worried about Xiao Yan's current situation. There's no need to worry too much. Judging from the current situation, the four mystic spirit sovereign hasn't managed to suppress Xiao Yan completely. It seems that Brother Xiao Yan is no ordinary Earth Supreme expert, said the Yuanda sect master. The crowd nodded in agreement, continuing to watch the developments within the mountain range. Boom. The vast Yuanda mountain range, stretching for 1 million miles, had been divided into 6 battlegrounds, one centered around Heavenly Fire Supreme battling the Grand Elder of Xinling Hall, another pitted Ling Yi Supreme against Xinling Hall's second elder. Lotus Yun clashed with Xinling Hall's third elder in the third. The Yinyang Patriarch and 2 others confronted the Heavenly King's Palace Master in the fourth. However, the most captivating were the other 2 battle zones. In one, Xiao Yan's 9,000 purifying lotus avatars faced off against Jigu, the Hall Master of Xinling Hall. Ice and fire clashed violently, creating 2 opposing realms that swept across the heavens. In the other, Xiao Yan's true body engaged in battle against the red-haired elder. High above in the sky, a colossal azure skyfire dragon, spanning several thousand feet, smashed its claw toward the flame emperor body below. Xiao Yan countered with the eternal ruler, forcing the dragon back. However, the attack was immediately followed by a white flaming tiger. The massive tiger collided fiercely with the Flame Emperor body, and a devastating shockwave rippled outward as both were sent flying. Yet, it was clear that the white tiger was pushed back thousands of feet, while Xiao Yan only retreated a few hundred feet. Roar! A deep cry resonated from the heavens, and moments later, a massive crimson flame figure descended from the sky, an enormous fire-red vermilion bird. But as it approached Xiao Yan from tens of thousands of feet away, a wave of surging flames rolled out in front of it. Riding atop this fiery wave was an 18-colored fire lotus, about 100 feet in size. As one of the top 50 flames on the 100 million flames ranking, the 4 mystic divine flames possessed their own intelligence. The terrifying aura radiating from the 18-colored fire lotus immediately drew the vermilion bird's attention. With a flap of its colossal wings, it sent a fiery shockwave toward the advancing fire lotus. The 2 clashed violently, one large and one small, unleashing a cataclysmic explosion. Boom! The collision between the vermilion bird divine flame and the 18-colored fire lotus generated immense destruction. Ripples of fire melted a space 1,000 feet wide. The impact was evenly matched. However, as the fire lotus was knocked back, it didn't explode, but instead began rapidly shrinking. The surrounding experts were aghast as they watched the massive fire lotus compress into a speck of light, seemingly without size. Yet, the terrifying aura it emitted only grew stronger. Swoosh! The tiny light speck streaked across the sky, heading straight for the vermilion bird divine flame. Realizing the deadly power of the fire lotus, the vermilion bird decisively turned to flee. However, the fire lotus moved faster, appearing behind it in an instant before exploding. Just as the explosion began, a massive shadow surged up from the ground to shield the vermilion bird divine flame. The devastating blast from the fire lotus poured onto this enormous shadow. The shadow revealed itself to be the black tortoise divine flame, renowned among the four mystic divine flames for its defensive capabilities. Despite sustaining cracks, it quickly repaired itself. On the ground below, Xiao Yan had firmly suppressed the Azure Dragon Divine Flame and White Tiger Divine Flame. His gaze turned toward the red-haired elder, who was struggling to maintain control over the four mystic divine flames. The elder's expression was grim, laced with fear. He could feel that the four mystic divine flames were being influenced by an external force, weakening them and attempting to break free from his grasp. Heh, noticing that your four mystic divine flames are acting out of control, Xiao Yan remarked, simultaneously repelling the Azure Dragon Divine Flame and White Tiger Divine Flame with a palm strike. Slowly raising his head, a prismatic flame rune on the Flame Emperor body's forehead flickered ominously. Such bizarre tricks. The red-haired elder coldly glared at Xiao Yan. He deduced that the rune Xiao Yan had conjured was the root cause of his flame's growing instability. The situation felt increasingly eerie. Come back. Realizing that relying on the flames alone wouldn't defeat Xiao Yan, the red-haired elder formed a handstand. So, flames are useless against me, huh? Xiao Yan smirked playfully as his clear voice echoed across the battlefield. If you want to defeat me, then reveal your supreme Dharmakaya. Go ahead and reveal your supreme Dharmakaya. As Xiao Yan's words reverberated, the red-haired elder across from him narrowed his eyes slightly. The four mystic divine flames surrounding his body were withdrawn into himself, indicating he had realized that ordinary flame-based attacks were ineffective against Xiao Yan. A hint of doubt flickered in the red-haired elder's mind. The young man before him seemed to possess some mysterious ability capable of suppressing his four mystic divine flames. It seems I underestimated you after all, the elder sighed. That's fine. You can keep underestimating me. After all, you wouldn't be the first, Xiao Yan replied indifferently, showing no concern for the elder's underestimation. Hearing this, the elder's gaze grew solemn. A terrifying aura, far more powerful than that of Zhigu, surged from within him. The oppressive force caused the ground below to crack as though it were about to collapse. Within a radius of thousands of miles, towering mountains were uprooted, suspended and distorted in midair. A scene of overwhelming visual intensity. The elder's aura surged madly, nearing the mid-stage Earth Supreme level, surpassing Zhigu's strength several-fold. Clearly, he no longer dared to underestimate Xiao Yan in the slightest. As you wish, this is my true strength, the red-haired elder declared. His voice, trembling the very space around them, continued. Since you want to see my supreme Dharmakaya, I shall grant your wish. Whoosh. As his words rang out, the surrounding sky dimmed abruptly. Spiritual energy within tens of thousands of miles contracted inward, concentrating within a range of several thousand miles around the two combatants. This caused the spiritual energy density around them to skyrocket, forming a mist-like state. Countless onlookers watched in shock as the dense spiritual energy compressed further, transforming into a vast sea of spiritual energy stretching tens of thousands of feet wide. This was no ordinary supreme sea. It was a true spiritual energy ocean. Both Xiao Yan and the red-haired elder stood within its vast expanse. Xiao Yan's expression grew slightly more serious as he acknowledged the elder's formidable power, recognizing the danger posed by his opponent. On par with Yin Yao. Boom. The massive spiritual energy ocean began to tremble violently. Towering waves of spiritual energy, tens of thousands of feet high, surged across its surface before forming an enormous vortex nearly 10,000 feet wide. Dark red radiance spread like ink from the vortex, rapidly staining the entire spiritual energy ocean. Amid this dark red sea, Xiao Yan felt an uncomfortable pressure. Deciding it was unwise to remain, he moved swiftly, his emperor flame body tearing open a massive fissure within the ocean. Without hesitation, he dashed toward the opening. His instinct screamed that staying within the sea was highly disadvantageous. Seeing Xiao Yan retreat, the red-haired elder's lips curled into a mocking smile. Swoosh, as Xiao Yan sped toward the edge of the sea, A piercing sound echoed behind him. A massive, dark red silhouette, hundreds of feet tall, burst from the spiritual energy ocean, hurtling toward Xiao Yin at terrifying speed. Covering thousands of feet in an instant, it moved with the full force of an Earth Supreme expert. What is that? Xiao Yan's expression shifted at the unexpected turn of events. Halting his retreat, he activated his Emperor Flame body and unleashed a devastating fire-infused punch toward the incoming figure. The dark red figure responded in kind, meeting Xiao Yan's punch head-on. The fiery fist, imbued with destructive flames, collided with the dark red figure's punch. A shockwave of immense power radiated outward, carving a vacuum several thousand feet wide in the spiritual energy ocean. However, the eerie ocean absorbed the residual force, preventing it from spreading further. A massive, hulking figure, standing 100 feet tall, loomed before them. Its entire body glowed with a dark crimson hue resembling blood ink, with a massive, menacing shark tooth protruding from its back. Its mouth revealed jagged, blood-stained fangs, while its arms ended in claws resembling those of a dragon. This figure appeared to be a colossal humanoid blood dragon shark, exuding a strength that could rival someone like the Yin-Yang Patriarch, a being on the verge of entering the Earth's supreme level. Moreover, in this sea of spiritual energy, its speed and defenses might even match a true Earth Supreme expert. Could this be the Supreme Dharmakaya of the red-haired elder? So this is your trump card? Xiao Yin cast his gaze tens of thousands of feet beyond the blood dragon shark figure, toward the red-haired elder, and sneered coldly. How utterly disappointing. Boom. As Xiao Yan's voice fell, the arm of the massive blood dragon shark that had clashed with him exploded violently. The enormous figure was blasted back several thousand feet, clearly outmatched by the overwhelming power of Xiao Yan's punch. However, what puzzled Xiao Yin was the lack of any visible change in the expression of the red-haired elder. Despite the blood dragon shark's retreat and the loss of his arm, it was as though everything was unfolding exactly as the elder had planned. Whoosh! Just as Xiao Yin had pushed the blood dragon shark back, another piercing sound cut through the sea of spiritual energy. A dark red blur suddenly appeared above Xiao Yan's head. It was identical to the previous blood dragon shark figure. Its dragon claws gleamed with a dark crimson light as they slashed down toward Xiao Yan's skull. Xiao Yin immediately sensed the threat, and a torrent of radiant energy erupted from his body, vaporizing the surrounding sea of spiritual energy. In his hand, a massive eternal flame ruler appeared and swept backward toward the crimson dragon claws. Whoosh! The blood dragon shark figure evaded Xiao Yan's counterattack with a swift movement, retreating into the distance. With just a few flickers, it vanished into the dark red sea of spiritual energy. Retracting his eternal ruler, Xiao Yin turned his gaze to the blood dragon shark he had previously disarmed, only to find it had disappeared. Sensing something amiss, Xiao Yin took a deep breath. The next moment, the Flame Emperor's form faded away, revealing Xiao Yan's true body. With his eyes tightly shut, an extraordinary power surged from within him, radiating outward from his soul. This power was not derived from the spiritual energy of the Great Thousand Worlds, but rather a force akin to the soul power from the continent of Douqi. However, upon entering the Great Thousand Worlds, this power had undergone a transformation. Here, it was known as Divine Soul Power. Buzz. This was Xiao Yan's first time using Divine Soul Power in the Great Thousand Worlds. Under normal circumstances, an Earth Supreme's Divine Soul Power could encompass an area spanning 1,000,000 miles. Yet, within this sea of spiritual energy, Xiao Yin discovered that his perception was limited to only several thousand feet around him. But that was enough. Heh! A cold laugh escaped from Xiao Yan's lips as his divine soul power locked onto his target within this restricted range. Dozens of dark crimson figures raced rapidly through the sea of spiritual energy. Their sheer number, over 60, meant that there were dozens of such powerful blood dragon shark entities in this ocean. So that's how it is. Xiao Yin exhaled deeply, withdrawing his divine soul power. His gaze turned toward the red-haired elder far in the distance. He realized the elder had crafted this sea of spiritual energy to provide the ideal battleground for these blood dragon sharks. A single blood dragon shark of this caliber could only stall someone like the Yin Patriarch, but 10 of them working together could leave a newly ascended Earth Supreme expert in disarray. And now, with over 60 such beings lurking in this sea, even a seasoned Earth Supreme might not escape unscathed. You plan to trap me here? Xiao Yin narrowed his eyes. Finally figured it out? The red-haired elder chuckled faintly, his gaze mocking as he looked at Xiao Yan. In this sea of spiritual energy, Xiao Yan's powers couldn't be fully unleashed. The elder's laughter echoed through the vast ocean.